Hey guys, Zach here, and Pokemon Champions just came out on mobile devices today, so we're going to be doing a little tour comparing it to the Nintendo Switch version of the game, and maybe go through a match or two to show you exactly what the full experience is like. So here we're on the iPhone version of the game. I've got my iPhone right here, and we're going to check out what this has to offer. So first difference you'll notice on at least the iPhone version, obviously this will vary by your device, is we do get to take advantage of that wider aspect ratio. I'm happy to say that the game goes edge to edge on my screen, goes over the dynamic island, so you get a nice extended view of the game and the playing field, which is very nice. Obviously, I have it cropped in 16:9 for YouTube purposes, but right now I'm going to show you what the iPhone version is like, which you'll see is a little bit wider, shows a little bit more. Alright, as exciting as that was, let's get into the full game here. Alright, so we're going to start up right now. I am super excited for this game coming to mobile. I love when mobile games can connect to console games, and no one on the Nintendo side has really been doing it quite like Pokemon. We've seen it with Pokemon Home, being able to have the mobile version and the Switch version and connect between the two. We've seen it with Pokemon Go, being able to send Pokemon from Pokemon Go into the mainline series games. And we've seen mobile and console versions of games like Pokemon Unite as well, and Pokemon Cafe Remix, I believe it is. We've seen both versions for that, so awesome that they are going kind of both of those routes. I always appreciate it, and the thing I appreciate most about this is that we're going to have full Pokemon battling on the go wherever we want, so no Wi-Fi connection needed. You can use your phone's cellular connection, and whether you're on the commute to work or on the metro somewhere, on the plane or bus, you can take out your phone and you can challenge anyone in the world, challenge a friend, play a random battle. Awesome to see. I am super excited for this personally. But let's get into the game here. So I have the iPhone version. I also tested it out on my iPad. And when you're setting up between multiple devices, you are going to want to be careful, as you may run into an issue where you log into one, and then when you try to log into the other, you'll get a notification that it says you have moved all your data to another device. Don't worry about it too much. Just reset the app. Make sure you're logged in using either your Apple account or your Google account or whatever you use. Make sure they're all linked up. And once you reset, maybe even delete the app and re-download it, then everything should resync now that it knows that all of your accounts are tied. Speaking of that iPad version, I'm going to throw it up on screen right now. This is what the same home screen looks like. One thing I noticed, it looks like the iPad version is not necessarily a unique iPad version so much as it is just the Pokemon Champions iPhone version put into an iPad aspect ratio. The models and textures seemed a little stretched out. You definitely notice some anti-aliasing on it on the iPad version, which is a little disappointing. Would have liked to have a more native version, but you know, how many people are playing on their iPad versus their phone? I completely understand. Probably would have been extra resources go into that. But here we are on the home screen of Pokemon Champions. Let's go into our box real quick, and I'll show you. It really was that easy as just logging into your account. All of my Pokemon here, everything in the box, all moved, no problem, synced up perfectly. All of my teams also perfectly synced up. Really was a seamless transition, which is always nice to see. You always worry about when you're moving Pokemon between things, if data gets corrupted or if some kind of thing goes wrong. Happy to say everything went right. One also cool feature about this new update is not only did the game come to mobile, but we've also got a new season, and that new season brings with us the addition of Mega Raichu, both forms of Mega Raichu, and to celebrate, you get a free Raichu in-game that, most importantly, comes in a Cherish Ball. I always love Pokemon that come in a Cherish Ball because the only way to get them is through events, and that Cherish Ball is just so incredibly good looking. So we're going to have our Raichu here that we got through the event to do a little twirl for you guys. And one thing you'll notice is the models in this game, they aren't quite as sharp as you'd think they would be. And you'll notice the game is still running at 30 frames a second. This is a little disappointing for me personally. I know that when Pokemon Unite came out. When it came out on Nintendo Switch, it ran at 30 frames a second, wasn't looking quite as sharp, and then when it came to mobile, it got the full 60 frames per second update, and the models were a little nicer in it. So I was kind of hoping that once we got this mobile version of Pokemon Champions, that we would get the same treatment, slightly updated models, and much faster frame rate. Doesn't appear to be the case. However, maybe down the line we could get that still. But for now, it's looking like everything is the exact same, which you can kind of understand. Pokemon will want to make sure that everything runs the same to start on all devices so that there's no syncing issues, no hiccups, everything just works. So we got a Raichu here, we're going to give him one more twirl, and then we're going to say goodbye, and we are going to hop into a match to show you guys what the full match experience is like. Spoilers, it's not that different, but we're going to go with it just in case. So we'll hop into a rank battle right here, and you guys can make fun of me if I lose it. So hopefully I don't. We're going to take our team here. We're going to begin matchmaking. The loading in this is very quick, I gotta say. Very nice to see that it loads super quick. Jumping into matches, also pretty quick. Everything is pretty seamless from the mobile version to the Nintendo Switch version. You also notice one thing in the corner. You'll see it has our phone's battery up in that upper left-hand corner, and really cute detail, it appears to be a charger bug that is the box around our battery. So awesome, cute detail there by Pokemon Company to not just include the battery percentage, but also make it Pokemon-centric by having that little charger bug right there. But enough yapping, we are going to look at this team here, and oh boy, we have got a fiery team we are going up against. Luckily, I run a rain team, but that doesn't mean anything because these guys are a lot to deal with, especially that Incineroar and the dual Charizard and Torkoal. So let's see what we're going to run with here. I think we're going to start out, we're going to go with our Aerodactyl to cover most of those fire weaknesses and get some speed out there, and then we're going to go with our Dragapult, which I specifically have to counter Incineroar because Incineroar is going to love to go for that fake out, and so we can stop him there. You know, on second thought, actually, we won't go with the Dragapult. We're going to go with our Lucario here, because Lucario, if you don't Mega Evolve him, he can keep his inner focus ability, and then he won't be susceptible to that fake out. We're running out of time here, so obvious next two choices going to be Politoed and Archaudon, tried and true combo of my Rain Setter and taking advantage of the rain with Electroshot. Alright, so let's dive into a match here. Again, you'll see visuals pretty comparable, a little bit of anti-aliasing on things, but overall looks pretty good. So we're going to jump in. He's going to lead with the Charizard and the Typhlosion. No surprise that he's leading with the Charizard. However, not leading with the Incineroar definitely throws a wrench in my plans. So, let's see how we want to handle this. Is he going to be afraid of my Aerodactyl enough to not keep the Charizard in? Let's see. We're going to throw a Rock Slide their way. And then, maybe with Lucario, we'll switch him out. We'll go with the Politoed. Bring in the rain, although he's likely going to take away that rain when he Mega Evolves his Charizard. But let's just see for now. There we go. Rain gone, and he's going to turn into the Mega Charizard Y. But hopefully we can knock him out with a Rock Slide. He might protect though. Goes for the Eruption. Extra powered up, but we survived because we've got good resistance on both these guys. And now, throwing out the Rock Slide. Oh, we get the miss on the Typhlosion. Brutal. But goodbye, Charizard. Alright, one of his biggest threats gone right there. And who is he going to bring in? Let's see. Bringing in the Torkoal, he's going to keep that Sun out. He is all in on the Sun, which, you know, can't blame him. The Sun, pretty strong in Pokemon Champions. So we are going to protect on this, this presumable double Eruption he's about to throw out. And we're going to get our Politoed out of here, and I am sorry to our Lucario, but we are going to sacrifice him. Because I'm going to need that Duraludon later, and I'm going to need my Politoed out of here so that I can set some sun. So, unfortunately, goes with a helping hand there, so double on the Eruption. We're going to protect. He's going to throw out the Eruption. And I'm sorry, Lucario, but you are going to have to eat a massive amount of damage here and be knocked out. Alright, guys. One apiece here. Let's see how this shakes out. We're going to go with our Politoed now. One thing I also forgot to mention, the mobile version of the game is not compatible with game controllers. So I tried out a Xbox controller and a Nintendo Switch controller. Neither of them had any effect. This is an all touchscreen game. So we're going to go in now. Let's run a nice little Rock Slide and a nice Muddy Water. Let's see if we can do something for ourselves here. Torkoal going to go bye-bye so he can set out that sun again. The Eruption in the rain. We'll see if it does anything. Not much. And again, the miss with the Rock Slide. Brutal. But we're going to run the Muddy Water now, and that should get rid of that Typhlosion. Hopefully we get an accuracy drop on the Garchomp. Goodbye, Typhlosion. And no accuracy drop, but that's okay. Now, he's going to get that sun back out here. And we got to be careful. Because we got to get our Politoed out here, but that Garchomp is dangerous. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to Ice Fang the Garchomp, get rid of him. We're going to switch out Politoed, bring in our Chowdon, and hopefully our Aerodactyl can knock out this Garchomp before he poses a threat to our Chowdon. I hope this is doing something for you guys, because if not, we are just running a video long for no reason. But I figured if I end up blowing this, you guys can make fun of me. We're going to switch out now. Our Chowdon in there. He's going to protect, but that's not going to matter because we are not touching that Torkoal. And we are going to Ice Fang Garchomp. Goodbye. Hopefully survive with Rough Skin. And we are living. We are now in real good shape, guys. Alright. So we're going to switch out Aerodactyl. Go to that Politoed. And then we're going to get an Electro Shot off, powered up by that rain we're about to bring in. Politoed, goodbye sun. Shouldn't be much of a threat from the Torkoal now, and that Electro Shot powered up by the rain, taking a 2-turn move into a 1-turn move and boosting the special attack. One of my favorite combos in the game right now. Big damage on the Torkoal. He just barely survives, but he probably will not have much more life in him. Barely doing anything with the Eruption. Get a little stamina boost as well, just to add insult to injury. And our opponent is going to forfeit because he knows he is at a disadvantage. So there we go, guys. Got a W on stream. How about that? And yeah, I think that's going to do it for the majority of Pokemon Champions on mobile. Really excited for this game. Again, if you haven't played Pokemon Champions, I highly recommend you check it out. It is incredibly approachable. There are a lot of ways to get into the game, especially if you already own Pokemon through the mainline series. You can bring in your Pokemon through there, and there's also the recruit feature, which is incredibly friendly. You're able to recruit Pokemon, you get tons of opportunity for tickets. Oh, I just noticed this. We get a new season where we are able to recruit Swampert, Sceptile, and Blaziken. Very exciting. Definitely recommend getting into Pokemon Champions if you haven't already. And otherwise, that's going to do it for me, guys. If you want more news on Pokemon Champions, Pokemon as a whole, or other things gaming, be sure you subscribe to GameXplain. I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.